if you're into health, you have got to know about wheatgrass and microgreens.
Hi, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we're partners at Perfect Foods, an organic wheatgrass and microgreen farm in upstate New York. Microgreens are baby plants, so we instinctively know that green foods are pretty much the best foods. Spinach, broccoli, those are things that your mom says, eat your broccoli growing up. And the scientific data is pointing towards that too in recent years. Definitely that these are the best foods that you can eat. Just get as much as you can into you. But of the greens, what are the best? And so microgreens and wheatgrass, these are all baby plants. And young things, right, are in general healthier, right? Think a baby compared to an adult. Like it's in its purest, healthiest form when it's young. And it's the same idea for plants. They need to be like strong in order to get through that baby phase so that they can like continue to live for the rest of their life. And microgreens and wheatgrass are extremely nutrient dense. They can have up to 3 to up to 100 times the nutrient density of the adult version of the plant. So when they, found a particular component of broccoli that they saw was, this is super anti-cancer, they said, how do we get more of this particular chemical? And they tested broccoli sprouts when they were only a couple of days old, and it was 100 times the density. And so they realized, like, when these plants are babies, they have super high nutritional levels, and they can be really beneficial to your health. So wheatgrass is young wheat. It's a leafy green. You juice it through a special wheat grinding juicer, and you drink the shot as just a green shot of juice. And you try to get it every day. So the ways that you could go about getting it would be if a local juice bar has it that we're supplying, we bring the grass to them, they juice it for you on the spot, and you drink it right then and there. And then also you could try to juice it yourself at home. You would buy a little juicer, you would get the grass either directly from us or potentially even growing it yourself or buying it from a store we supply. Get the grass, bring the grass home and juice it yourself. Wheatgrass and all green things, they're called primary producers, if you can remember from grade school, which just means like they're the first thing that's taking sun energy and converting it into life energy that's feeding all the rest of all life on Earth. Everything eats those things first. They're the primary producers. So you're getting kind of the sun energy or the life energy directly from the most purest source that you can, green foods. So that's one reason that we think that they're kind of the best foods you can, consume. You're getting it straight from the source, as close to the source as you can.
And also, like, ask a cow, ask a rhinoceros. Like, that's all that they eat is grass. They get all the nutrition that they need in order to be these huge, massive, strong mammals from grass. So we can take a page out of their book and know we don't have to have that be our only source of food, but certainly we should be using it to supplement our diets. So microgreens, everything that we grow is a microgreen. And basically a microgreen is a baby green and it's about 10 days old. So this is wheatgrass as a microgreen, the same wheat seeds that would grow to become wheat, but it's only 10 days old and it looks like grass. And everything that we grow is only 10 days old. So we grow broccoli at 10 days old and sunflower at 10 days old and cilantro and arugula. And everything that we grow has the highest level of nutrients at that stage. So when it's at that stage, it has anywhere between 3 to 100 times the nutrients as the adult plant. And that's because it has everything that's needed in order to grow into the adult plant in this little tiny leaf. So it's super concentrated, and that's why we grow everything at its micro stage, because it has the antioxidants, the concentrated vitamins and minerals, and chlorophyll and enzymes. So you harvest it, you cut it, and you juice it, and you drink it, and that one shot that you have, about 1 ounce, is equivalent to having about 2.5 pounds of green vegetables or 2 big salads. It's the most powerful green, and you know that greens are good for us. So when you know that greens are good for you, then you want to get the most powerful one, and that's why you use microgreens. one thing I like to say is think about garlic, fresh garlic versus garlic powder. When you're making a recipe where you need fresh garlic and, oh, I don't have my garlic, I don't have my fresh garlic, I need to use garlic powder. How much garlic powder do you need to use in order for it to taste like fresh garlic? It's nearly impossible to make it taste the same. And that just goes to show the difference between powder and fresh. It's not comparable. It's apples and oranges. You can't compare it at all. And now think about it in superfood version of wheatgrass. Wheatgrass powder versus wheatgrass fresh. You can't compare. And we know that because you can taste it when you drink a shot of wheatgrass versus when you have a shot of wheatgrass powder. It's like you can barely taste it at all with the powder, but you take a shot of wheatgrass and you stand up, you feel that, you taste it. And that's how you know that it's working. And I think it's important to talk about this concept because here we are in a world where people are suffering with digestive issues and with autoimmune things that doctors don't really know how to explain. And diabetes and illness is on the rise. And we need to know what's going to work. And we need to not be taking an entire huge list of $500 a month of supplements. Because you go to a chiropractor, you go to a nutritionist, that's what they're going to tell you to do. They're going to tell you to buy $500 minimum a month of supplements with zinc and iron and magnesium and methylated B vitamins. And it's confusing and it's a lot. It's too much. And who wants to take supplements all day long? I want to get it through the food. I want to get it straight from the source. So to me, that's why I so believe in wheatgrass and microgreens, because I personally can't stand to take supplements all day long. And if you go to a nutritionist who isn't educated on microgreens and wheatgrass, that's what they're going to tell you to do. But if you go to a nutritionist that is educated on it, they might tell you just take a shot of wheatgrass because it has almost every known vitamin and mineral. It has high levels of zinc and iron and magnesium and selenium and vitamin A, B complex, C, D, E, K. You really are getting a wide variety of almost everything that you need in exactly the right proportion for what your body needs to absorb it and heal itself naturally. It's so important.
And that's that's an important point. Is it's like, naturally formulated, so it's balanced, that each of the nutrients are balanced so that they all get absorbed because it's, that's the way it's found in nature. It's not like 10,000 milligrams of this thing and 5 milligrams of this. It's balanced in the right way that everything just gets absorbed and used, and none gets wasted. And that's just, that's because it's a pure, whole, live food. And there's not that many, foods like that. Even vegetables, right? Vegetables are usually harvested on the West Coast or Mexico, and you get them like a week later. No, we're bringing the live plant to the store. The store has the live plant. They're cutting it 2 minutes before they juice it and you drink it. So it's alive like up to minutes before you consume it. And even if you were to purchase it harvested in a bag the way we sell it also, that's only a couple of days since it's been harvested and you're consuming it. So it's really unlike almost any other vegetable. It's alive.
Yeah. And a big flash word these days is the concept of bioavailability. And it's bioavailable. This is the epitome of bioavailable. Bioavailable means getting nutrition through food. And why does nutrition through food more optimal? Because you're getting it in all of the right proportion for what your body needs in order to absorb it properly. This is key because people will have iron pills all day long and they won't see their iron levels go up. Or they'll have zinc supplements and they won't see their zinc levels go up. And they ask their nutritionist what's going on. And it's because in order to absorb zinc, you need to have this. In order to have that, you need to have this. In order to have this, you need to have this. And just, you can get all of that through the food as nature intended it. But if you're going to try and get it through powders, now you have to take a whole list of things.
Microgreens are definitely like catching on in recent years. People are realizing like they're like excellent flavors and textures, and they make like your dish seem like it's like at a Michelin star restaurant just by putting a few on top. And a lot of high-end restaurants actually have been like, using them that way. But you can have access to them easily too. And they're not just a garnish though. They're not just pretty and making your dish look really nice. They have amazing, incredible health benefits. So if you make them not just like a pinch on top of your salad, but you make them the base of your salad, that salad's going to be like amazing in flavor and unique, and it's going to give you a ton of health benefits and nutrition too.
Chef's kiss. It's crunchy. It's yummy. It's high in protein. Oh, this is huge, okay? Protein is what everybody's talking about, right? What are the building blocks of protein? Amino acids. And wheatgrass and microgreens have abundance of amino acids. They're extremely high in protein as far as greens go. In the realm of greens and plant-based foods, this is one of the highest levels of protein that you're going to get. So if you're looking for a plant-based way to get high-quality protein into your diet, microgreens are a really good thing.
All right, so my father, the founder, Harley, and his childhood friend, Jack, they started the business after Jack returned for like a wedding and had been working at a juice bar on the beach in California where wheatgrass was like gaining popularity. It was pretty strongly popular there. And it wasn't anywhere to be found in New York. So they said, hey, maybe like people want this. It seems to be popular. Like, I think it's the real deal. Let's see if people want it. The first 3 health food stores they went to said yes, yes, yes. And so they said, okay, let's try to grow it. They grew it in their backyard, the first couple of trays. And, you know, and then people all of a sudden, like they were carrying it into the stores and someone was chasing after them, holding a $100 bill in their hand saying, wait, don't leave. I need that. I've been waiting. Where have you been all my life? And they were like, what is this stuff? They didn't really know what it was. So, you know, eventually they realized like that wheatgrass is actually one of the most powerful health foods that there is.
Yeah, they didn't know, my father didn't know the value of wheatgrass when he started it. He learned about it from his customers. And he realized that there was something special about it when he had customers running after him with $100 bills saying, where can we get wheatgrass? And then he had to really understand, what is this stuff? So we went to these institutes. And at these institutes, they educate you about wheatgrass for healing. And it's the primary thing that they tell you to drink. And then he brought the family there, the whole family. We would go as kids. Instead of going to Disneyland, we would go to these raw food retreat centers. And that's where we got to really understand what the power of it was, because we saw hundreds of people with our own eyes heal. And the primary thing that they used was drinking wheatgrass juice. So now I feel that it's my mission on this earth to educate people and get these superfoods to as many people as possible, because I have seen that it works.
Ann Wigmore is considered to be like the mother of modern wheatgrass, and she was healing people at her institute in Boston, where you know, she was teaching people about this living foods diet, which is basically giving people young sprouted foods like wheatgrass and sprouts and microgreens, and healing them from pretty severe health problems. And so she was really the one that promoted wheatgrass in modern times. And it's from that institute and similar ones like it that are around the country that educate people on this living foods lifestyle and the healing powers of it. That's how our industry was born. That's where we learned about wheatgrass and microgreens. And as kids, we actually ended up going to a couple of these programs where you go for a few weeks, they have classes, they provide you some of the food. And, so we were like young and we were exposed to this like our entire lives. And, these places have, records of people coming there with like stage 4 cancer and diabetes and everything. And actually when their doctors tell them like, good luck, you're not going to make it in a couple of months, but do what you want, and they go to these places and they actually can be healed through food, through diet. And so that's our like philosophy. That's what we really want to bring. That's the message that we really want to bring, is that you can heal yourself through food and diet. And which foods? We feel that these are the perfect foods. This wheatgrass juice and microgreens and living foods. So Perfect Foods grows, of course, our main thing, which is fresh wheatgrass. So we're bringing that to juice bars, or you're getting the grass and you're juicing it yourself at home. And then just for some convenience, because it's hard to always get fresh wheatgrass and juice it, We also make a frozen wheatgrass juice product. So that's where we juice it here on site, we freeze it, and you can get that and keep that in your freezer at home if you're within our delivery region. We can bring that to you. You just take it out. It's in a sealed cup. You drop it in a glass of water. It thaws in a couple of minutes. It's a lot more convenient than taking out your juicer, getting the grass, juicing it all. So for convenience, it's an option. It's not as good as if you were to drink it fresh. We say something like, 80, 85% the health benefits and nutrition of the fresh, but it's the next best option. It's definitely far better than a powdered version. That's almost forget it, don't bother. And then there's the microgreens. So for many years, our core varieties were sunflower. Those are like crunchy and nutty, and they're kind of a large stem and two large leaves. Then there's pea. That looks kind of like a vine. It has a sweet, mild pea taste you'll definitely recognize. We also have buckwheat. Buckwheat has like a little bit of a pinkish stem sometimes. It has a citrusy flavor, very delicate, and goes great in salads and on top of sandwiches. And then more recently, we added a few additional varieties. So that would be broccoli microgreens, radish microgreens, arugula microgreens, cilantro microgreens, and we combine a lot of them into what we call our color mix. So we have the color mix that has a few of those varieties mixed together. And additionally, we have our juicers, because in order to use wheatgrass, you need to have a wheatgrass juicer. So we sell some juicers. We also have growing supplies, so the seeds and kits put together so you can grow these things yourself at home. And we grow wheatgrass for pets too. So cats and other small mammals tend to like wheatgrass. They nibble on it, so you can find those at a few select pet stores in the area. We have another frozen juice product, which is made from some of the microgreens and also cucumber and celery, called the Hippocrates green juice. We also have our Reset Cleanse program, which is a week or it can be as long as you want, where we educate you on living foods, a raw, vegan, living food diet. We send you a package of all of the things that we grow and a couple other partner products that are kind of hard to find. And in addition to an educational component where we have videos that you can watch that educate you on why these foods are good for your health. And we have a weekly Zoom session where we just hold your hand and help you to walk through the process of learning how to live this way at home and implement this into your lifestyle.
So you'll have your wheatgrass in the morning, 1 or 2 ounces in the morning, whether it's fresh and you're juicing it or you're taking your frozen shot. Then for breakfast, you might make a microgreen smoothie. So you'll take some of the sunflower and the broccoli greens and you'll make a smoothie out of that with some frozen berries and water, real simple, and get that extra protein and nutrients in. And then, if you want a meal for later, you can bring your frozen juice with you and on the road and let it thaw out. And then you'll have your second shot in the afternoon, right? You'll bring your frozen shots with you, or you'll go into a juice bar and get yourself a shot, or you'll be home and make sure you juice it fresh. And we have raw vegan snacks that are raw and sprouted and dehydrated. This is like the most important thing, because we want to make sure that the enzymes are alive. So nobody really carries these snacks, and it's hard. You want to have guilt-free snacks, right? They know are gluten-free and vegan and sugar-free, and that's what these are, and they're delicious. So we have a whole line of raw snacks and raw crackers. And of course, all of our microgreens. I love the sunflower sprouts. That is by far my favorite. I bring little bags of them with me all day long, and I munch on them, or I add them to my smoothies, add them to my salads. Basically, there is not one meal that goes by without me adding microgreens on top of it. The meal is not done until the microgreens are on top. So I can't recommend trying these microgreens enough. If you're into wheatgrass and you're into health, you have got to know about wheatgrass and microgreens.
So fresh wheatgrass, once we fully grow it and we bring it to you either in the live tray form which, for people at home, we wouldn't necessarily recommend because it needs to be refrigerated at that point once it's fully grown. So putting a full tray into your fridge is a little bit inconvenient. So usually I would say get the 1 pound bag where we cut it here, put it in a Ziploc bag, and that's a lot easier for you to store. But it has to be refrigerated, just like, all most fresh greens and produce. Well refrigerated, so like, not 42 degrees, like, closer to 35, let's say. And kept relatively dry, so if you line paper towel in your bag or your Tupperware container, that'll keep it for longer, and it can stay easily a week. Usually you can get 2 weeks out of it even. So fresh wheatgrass, but you got to get a constant replenishment of fresh wheatgrass. So that's either you're getting deliveries from us or we're shipping it to you in a package where it's kept refrigerated in the package. The cut greens are in an insulated box with ice packs. Or you're going to a store that we supply in the region. We cover the tri-state New York area, so that's like North Jersey and all of the boroughs, Long Island, Westchester, Orange, Rockland, a tiny bit of Connecticut, and a little bit north of us as well in upstate New York. So that's our delivery region. And we go to each region like once a week typically. So we come with our refrigerated cargo vans. We go to each region once a week. And we have a relatively small minimum requirement. So to go to a home or to a store is $40 worth of product plus a delivery fee. And shipping, if you're within like a certain region kind of close to us, you could get it you want to get it there in 1 day. So in a certain region kind of close to us, the ground zone, it can get to you in 1 day and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. But if you're a little bit further where we have to ship it overnight air, then it can be a little pricier. You're spending a little more on shipping costs.
Let's say you do live outside of our delivery region and you don't have a local supplier that you like, or that you like the quality of the wheatgrass, but you want to be consistent with it. And you know that you need wheatgrass and you know that you need it every day. So what do? Do I pay the shipping and every week? I usually recommend that you get maybe 2 weeks worth or 3 weeks worth or even a month's worth of wheatgrass shipped to you at once. So that might be 5, 6, 7, 10 pounds of wheatgrass. You juice it up and you freeze it. And that's why I want to talk about juicing and freezing wheatgrass. So yeah, it's a lot to drink it to juice it, to get your juicer out and juice it every day. So in order for convenience, you might actually take whatever you have fresh, juice it up and freeze it in little 1 ounce cups.
You can even juice wheatgrass straight into like a ice cube tray, a silicone ice cube tray, a regular ice cube tray, cover it with, saran wrap, and just pop that into your freezer. That's a relatively easy way. And then when you want to defrost it, you pop out the ice cube, put that into like a glass, put your glass into a bowl of water so that it can like heat up kind of quickly when it thaws, and that can thaw in just a couple of minutes and you can have a fresh shot. It'll still be ice cold and you can drink it right then and there. That's much more convenient than having to juice every single day and clean the juicer every single day. So that's an option for convenience. It's not as good as doing it fresh every day. 85% is good. But for people who just they have a super busy lifestyle, that might be the best option for them. So we tell people that making wheatgrass juice should be really a part of your daily routine, if possible, because getting nutrients, a little bit of nutrients, like every day in like small batches, that's basically the best way that you can get your nutrients, your just like as if it was a vitamin every day. Instead of a vitamin, you take wheatgrass. It's like a natural vitamin. So people who are generally healthy already, they're just adding this in to just kind of, up their game a little. Maybe 1 fluid ounce, 2 a day to start with. If you had something more serious, then I would tell you to do maybe as much as 4 or perhaps slightly more than that a day. But most people are just doing 1 or 2 a day typically.
So for how much to drink, it's important, because if you drink just 1 ounce every once in a while when you're at the juice bar, you're definitely going to feel like a little bit of energy. And you're going to be like, oh, okay, that's my pick-me-up, especially if you drink it in the afternoon. I notice for myself, I drink it in the morning and you're already kind of awake in the morning, so you don't necessarily feel a major boost. But but in the afternoon you start feeling tired and you need that afternoon pick-me-up and you drink a shot of wheatgrass, you notice it. It's real. So even just 1 ounce can make a difference. However, if you have something that you're trying to work on, if you have a health opportunity, as we like to call it, what we have seen time and time again to work is 2 ounces in the morning and 2 ounces in the afternoon on an empty stomach. And that is like pretty much non-negotiable. That's what we've seen work. So if you really want to get the best results, 2 ounces in the morning and 2 ounces in the afternoon is what we have seen over our 40 years through parents, through anecdotes, through institutes. That's what they recommend. So that's the therapeutic dosage. And that's important because some people miss that. It can keep you up. It can keep you up if you drink an extra 2 ounces, right? But around 6, 7, 8 p.m., you might be fine with it, but some people might actually, be sensitive to it.
Yeah, it's not a bad kind of like it's going to keep you awake, like as if it were caffeine. It's just giving you like a bunch of nutrients. But if you do end up sleeping, a lot of people report that they have better sleep and they wake up really refreshed and rested feeling. So I think it's just a natural way to have energy and feel good.
Why can wheatgrass make you feel nauseous? We hear it all the time. People are like, oh, I had wheatgrass one time and it made me feel a little bit nauseous. Is that okay? Is that normal? It's intense. Like I said, it's this 10-day-old super green that you then juice and you drink, right? So 1 ounce is equivalent to having like 2.5 pounds of green vegetables. You wouldn't have 2.5 pounds of green vegetables in one shot, right? So it's intense. So similar to, have you ever had like a supplement or a vitamin that you weren't supposed to have with food, and you had it with food and maybe felt a little bit nauseous? Same thing with wheatgrass. It just is intense, and the body absorbs it in a certain way and digests it. It likes to be on its own. It likes to be digested on its own because it's so intense. And that's why you can feel a little bit nauseous. But to the same point, it means you need it and you need to be drinking it regularly.
Wheatgrass is an extremely concentrated, nutritious food. And because of that, when you drink it and it gets absorbed very quickly, because everything is in its like simplest form, it gets absorbed very quickly, and it's a very powerful detoxifier. So when your body gets lots of like good, it has toxins built up in it over like your life. They get stored in the cells. And when your body gets good nutrition, all of a sudden, it dumps all the bad stuff. It starts to get rid of it and detox. That's what detoxifying is. So it dumps everything into your bloodstream. And if you don't get rid of it quickly, you can maybe start to feel kind of sick. So that's what like this detoxifying effect is known. So it's usually when you've been not eating correctly and all of a sudden you eat something really, really good for you, you get this detoxifying effect. It shouldn't last like indefinitely, only usually in the beginning do you maybe feel it. So usually after a couple of days maybe, once you get some of those things out of your system, it'll go away and you'll get used to it. But
in order to minimize that, right, because we don't want you to feel nauseous while drinking it, this is a positive thing. A few things that you can do. First of all, sip it slowly, right? Like people think that they're drinking it like tequila, but that's not the case. You're drinking a health, superfood. So you can drink it slowly and swish it around in your gums. Allow it to digest through your gums first and let the enzymes in your saliva break it down a little bit first. Give yourself a little bit of a break, right? So drink it slowly, swish it around in your gums, drink it like that. That's the first thing. Then you can have a lick of cinnamon. That really helps me a lot. A lick of cinnamon after completely cuts the flavor and the aftertaste, which sometimes is what kind of can cause the nausea as well. And then the last thing is having a bite of fruit or a bite of parsley. Sometimes I'll have a bite of pineapple or apple or juice in a little bit of that. If you really need to and you want to be drinking wheatgrass regularly but you have trouble with it, that's the best thing to do. A bite of apple, a bite of orange, something like that, completely will cut the flavor and pretty much remove that. But it's important to drink it on an empty stomach, okay? That is something that we've been educated and we've been taught from the beginning of time. Some people put it in their juice, some people put it in their smoothie, some people don't have it on an empty stomach because they find that they need to have it with a little piece of something in order to feel best. But historically, it's always been taught to drink wheatgrass on an empty stomach. So when you're beginning, do it like that and then take it from there to see what's best for your body.
Yeah, you definitely want to drink wheatgrass like on its own. Try not to combine it with anything. If you're going to combine it with something, maybe just a green juice or something that's close to it. Or just like a little sip of something afterwards to kill the taste. Maybe apple juice, for example. But have it on its own, on an empty stomach. So we usually say, like, first thing in the morning, drink a glass of water, and then a few minutes later, have a shot of wheatgrass juice. But don't have your breakfast like 5 minutes after your wheatgrass either. You got to give it a little bit of time to digest, and that'll definitely prevent you from feeling maybe a little queasy or maybe getting a headache. These are often detoxifying effects or just effects that you could have if you're having too much too quickly.
Can you blend wheatgrass? Okay, so wheatgrass is super fibrous. Well, okay. The answer is no. Let's not go on and on. The answer is no. You want to juice wheatgrass in a masticating juicer, a juicer that can handle a fibrous green. So if you put it into a blender, it will go around the blades and it will wear out your motor. So try not to blend it. If you're juicing it for the first time and you don't have a juicer, but you want to see what the deal is, yeah, you could throw it in your blender and squeeze it out with a cheesecloth and just kind of get some juice. But long term, definitely you want wheatgrass in a wheatgrass juicer, and we have juicers on our website that are completely masticating.
So we grow wheatgrass in our indoor warehouse type farm, and so we can do it all year round. We use an organically composted soil mix that we produce and organic seeds, and it's really just water and seeds and soil and light, and that's it. Nothing added extra. And we try to produce the greenest, healthiest juice so that it can have the most health benefits. So ours is actually quite strong in the world of wheatgrass. Our wheatgrass, and New Yorkers, I think they appreciate that. They're no BS. They want the good stuff. So our wheatgrass is powerful.
Yeah.
And so that could turn some people off because it's a strong taste. But, if you are serious and you're doing this for health reasons, which is mostly the reason why people are drinking wheatgrass, then just give me the best, just give me the top grade stuff.
Yeah, we definitely have the strongest and the sweetest wheatgrass in the world. That's hands down. People go to institutes, they get wheatgrass from farmers markets, and then they try our wheatgrass and they're like, whoa, that's something else. And it's true. And the reason why, I think, the big reason that is because of the seeds. Seeds, there's only a few different ingredients in wheatgrass, right? There's seeds, there's water, and there's soil, and there's light. That's pretty much it. So between all those ingredients, we have to make sure every single one is perfect. The soil, we make sure it's really rich, healthy, composted soil. That's extremely important. And our soil is definitely high quality. The second one is the seeds. We go and we source seeds multiple times throughout the year. And we have experiments where we get seeds from all around the country, and we plant them and we grow them and we compare them and we cut them and we harvest them. We look at the color, we look at the taste, we look at the roots to see if they're healthy. We really analyze and we ask everybody what they think about before we buy a whole big bulk batch of a truckload of seeds. So when we do our testing of our seeds, it's very important that we get a high quality Perfect Foods seed. I think that's where one of the places where the magic is. But just like the body is a holistic organism that needs every single aspect to be correct in order to be thriving, right? We need to be doing exercise. We need to have drinking the right water, having the right diet, having the right mindset. It's a holistic thing. When you're sick, you need to look at every single piece. Same thing as a plant. You need to look at every single piece. Just the seeds being good is not going to make it be a perfect foods wheatgrass. Just the soil being good is not going to make it be a perfect foods wheatgrass. It has to be all of it. And that's really where the art comes in.
So growing wheatgrass, we've been doing it for decades at this point. And, we use a relatively simple system. So there's not tons of automations. We grow just like the grass behind me in a single layer under lights, and we water by hand. And so it's a relatively simple process, but it's it's tried and tested, you know? And so I think we've got it down pretty good. And we have a controlled growing environment, so it controls the temperature and the humidity as best as possible. Really like as if these plants are just in their perfect environment. They're on vacation, you know? They're at the beach, they're on vacation. You can't get a better environment for them. It allows them to grow to their best potential, to be as healthy as possible. So, and when they're healthy and you consume them, then now you're going to get the benefits from it.
So the market is saturated with different health food products, green powders, supplements, every type of superfood, spirulina and sea moss, and they're really marketed on us very well through TikTok and through putting tons of money into sending it to people who don't even use it themselves, right? They just say that it helps them with a million things, but does it really? It's definitely being supplemented through marketing, and it's confusing. So not only are we a farm, primarily, right? That's what we do. We grow wheatgrass, but we've also sort of gone towards more of the education piece because we realize that people need education now. Like it's a very confusing health market. We know that we need health food products and we know that our health is important, but there's so many products. There's green powders and there's supplements and everybody's telling you what the best thing to do is, and it's confusing and people are sick and they need help. So the education piece is important, and that's where I kind of put my focus in. We put our focus in a few years ago. We made a raw vegan cleanse program where we not only ship you our fresh stuff, wheatgrass and microgreens and sauerkraut for the gut and raw vegan sprouted dehydrated crackers and snacks, things that you really can't find anywhere else. We put them all in a package and we send them to you, and then we give you a shopping list and a recipe guide, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, of exactly what to make, and a video course, and we coach you and we hold your hand to a step-by-step guide to successfully do a raw vegan cleanse at home, as if you were going to these retreat centers that we did back in the day that are still existing now, but as if you're going to these raw food retreat centers, we help you to do that at home successfully. And that's huge because they're really expensive. Some people can't take that time off and they absolutely need it. So when you do these, it's like really teaching you how to use these products to heal your body. And once you get to do that cleanse for a week, you're like, oh, right, now it makes sense. It's not just taking a shot at the juice bar every once in a while and being like, okay, wheatgrass is cool. Having 4 ounces of wheatgrass every day for a week, and then also having the microgreens on every salad and having sauerkraut in every meal and having green juices and cleanse and really utilizing all the knowledge that we have, that's when you get real results.
So this is a pretty extreme diet that we're talking about. It's raw and it's vegan. So it's only like fruits and vegetables and maybe nuts and seeds. And, so nothing is meant to be cooked even. So, it's basically just salads and, juices, and that's the core of it. But if you do that, if you eat those like best possible foods, you can heal from like almost everything. Your body is an amazing piece of machinery. Your body should be healing yourself. And so it's really just because of our modern lifestyle where we're, exposed to all kinds of toxins and eating all kinds of processed foods that we're developing these health problems. If you change your diet, like you can be at your optimal health and you can heal from just about everything.